You need the knowledge of how SEO works, but you also need the authority. I believe it comes down to sacrifice. And you really focus on the process rather than the result, the process of making a great video, learning to edit, learning to make thumbnails, learning how to speak on camera, learning, then over time, you'll start getting the results.
Hey guys, welcome to another edition of Animaker Genius Talk, a talk show where we interview genius minds from the world of videos and transfer some of their amazing knowledge to you. Today we have a very special guest in the house. I'm pleased to present to you successful YouTuber and very successful author, Brian G. Johnson. Welcome to the show, Brian. I'm happy to have you here today.
It's great to be here. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to share today and hang out.
All right, let me explain how this is going to work today. We have 3 amazing sections, and through these sections, we're going to find out how to get the first 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. All right? Every great story always starts with a hero's journey. Brian, today you're the hero of the show. So tell us how your journey started off in the YouTube world.
Well, actually, again, it's great to be here. Thanks for having me on the show. And my journey started as a professional chef, and I was really interested in getting started with internet marketing. And I remember when YouTube was just coming out. In fact, hang on, I'm looking at my iPhone now today, and it's amazing what we can do with these devices. And when I started, it was actually 2007. And we didn't really have the capabilities to film on a mobile device. But there was a small camcorder called the Flip camcorder that came out. And it really made it easy to create videos. And I was creating a lot of websites to make money and whatnot. And I thought it would be great to be able to have videos on the sites as well. So I had a simple device that allowed me to create videos. And I also had YouTube was just launching. This is, again, 11 years ago. That's like dinosaur ages on the internet. 11 years is a long time. And I felt like it's going to be easy enough for me to get started and make nice videos, add them to my website. And that's really how I began the process of really exploring YouTube to move forward.
Wow, a chef to a YouTuber. That's definitely an amazing journey. All right, so you are a very successful author today. Your book, Tube Ritual Volume 1 has become very successful among the video creators community. But when I came across your book for the first time, there was one question that really popped into my mind. As a professional video creator and an expert at that too, why did you choose to have a book over a series of videos or a video course?
So for me personally, I am into creating content. And one of the things to think about is what are the different ways that you can reach people to grab authority, to get yourself out there and whatnot. And a lot of people are excited to read. They like to sit down. Maybe it's on their phone or a Kindle, or they buy an actual paperback book and they read. In a few years earlier, I launched this book, Trust Funnel. And that process was great for me, and I enjoyed the process. It got my name out there, it got me some speaking gigs and so on. So I thought what I would do is I would start writing another book as I was doing the videos. So I wouldn't say I necessarily decided to do videos or write a book rather over videos. I was really doing both.
All right. So you just chose books as another medium to get your content out there, right?
Yeah, exactly. One of the things to think about that really went through my mind was I'll be able to write a book, and people that are on Amazon are going to find the book, they're going to read the book, and then they're going to come find my channel, and it will be one more way in which I can grow my channel and not just grow the channel too, but really establish myself as someone that's passionate about video. And it would also put some fire under me to take my video game up to the next level, which is great. We have to really push ourselves to do the best job we can. And here I was writing a book about video, so I had to get good at video really fast.
Wow, that's definitely an amazing motivation to up your game. All right, Brian, we've come to the end of section 1. The next section is a very interesting section. I'm going to throw some questions at you. I'm going to find maximum value from your answers and pass on that value to my audience. All right?
Let's do it.
Perfect. The first question that I have for you is, on another episode of Genius Talk, when I was talking to Rand Fishkin, he gave me this amazing analogy about YouTube. He compared YouTube to the chicken egg problem. When you get viewers, you get subscribers. And when you get the subscribers, you get the views. All right?
Right.
So my question to you is, as a beginner, when I don't have the viewers or the subscribers, how do I go about gaining both? And how do I get my first 10,000 views and my first 10,000 subscribers?
This is a great question, and it's a very popular question. How is it possible when there are these channels that are so big and I'm just starting out and I don't have the subscriber base? And it can be frightening, but what's really exciting to think about is that if YouTube created an algorithm or a platform that only rewarded big creators, then there would never be any new creators coming on the platform that would be able to get views. It would be impossible because YouTube, basically the algorithm, like you said, would only reward those channels that already had the ability to drive views. And the truth of the matter is that watch time is a phrase that's thrown around so very often. And if we really dig in, there are many different watch time metrics. It's not one metric. That's why if you go into your analytics, you see things like average view duration, minutes watched, you see percentage viewed, you see audience retention. That's 4 different watch time metrics. And if you, number one, if you believe that you can and you strive to create great videos and you practice keeping viewers watching, you practice editing, you focus on SEO, you understand where the competition is, then you absolutely can move forward. You can publish videos and you will drive views, because at the end of the day, there are basically 4 words, maybe 5 words that dictates how the algorithm works, and it's expected watch time per impression, which means the watch time is just not how long people are watching, but it's how often, number one, viewers are clicking on your thumbnail. So if YouTube shows your video thumbnail in search results, but nobody clicks it, that's bad, because your expected watch time is going to go down dramatically. The second component of expected watch time per impression is average view duration, which is basically how long they're watching your video. Now, what's really exciting is this information comes from YouTube. We can trust this, that's how it works. So if you increase how often people click on your thumbnails and you increase how long they actually watch, which we're in control of, you can drive views. Now, here's the really exciting part. I know this sounds difficult for a lot of people, but what I can tell you is when I launched my channel, there are a handful of videos today, 2 years later, that actually have over 100,000 views. And those videos were published when my channel was less than maybe 2 months old. I had maybe 400 or 500 subscribers, and yet today I just checked, I just was taking a screenshot, and one of the videos is Apple marketing strategy. Currently, for my account, I rank number 2 in YouTube. And I gotta be honest, my friend, the audio's bad, the video quality isn't the greatest, and yet, because it's got a good thumbnail, so people are clicking, and because the quality is just good enough, I've been able to drive over 100,000 views, and anybody can do the same.
How do you pick the keywords for which you have to rank on the first page? And more importantly, how do you make sure that you stay on the first page of that search word?
Really, really great question. This is where YouTubers struggle. And this is a reality. A lot of people will say, but YouTube, they reward big channels. If we're really honest, at the end of the day, it's up to us to make good decisions. And it's hard. It's hard to know how to choose a keyword phrase to target. here are some ideas that will allow you to choose a keyword phrase for the video that you're gonna publish. And I guarantee if you follow these steps, you'll do better. I guarantee it. In fact, it's funny, I'm actually working on a video right now that covers this very thing. And it's interesting because I just found some new information directly from YouTube inside YouTube Studio Beta, and they tell us about keywords. And they tell us where to put the keywords, how to optimize the keywords, but they don't answer the question, how do you choose which keywords you should target? Think about this. When you're targeting a keyword phrase, we're talking about language, and people talk and think in different words. If I want to buy let's say I want to buy a painting from a store, well, I might search online for buy painting, but someone else might search for order painting, and someone else might search for purchase painting. At the end of the day, they mean the same exact thing. And what that means is that if you slow down and really think through, I'm gonna create a video about paintings, and I want people to find my paintings. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look at all the possible search terms that people might search for. I'm gonna then look at the top ranking videos in YouTube. And it's really actually pretty easy to do and to dramatically improve your results. For example, when I started, excuse me, when I started, I had that new channel and I did well, and I published the video on Apple branding strategy. I started driving views because it was not as competitive as some of the other phrases on YouTube. And then I wanted to start talking about YouTube. So I targeted how to get views, or actually how to get more views on YouTube. And I was obliterated. In fact, today I still don't have the authority that I would go after that phrase. I might get lucky, and once in a while I'll dip my toe in the water, I'll try. But more often I'll ask myself, what are other ways that viewers might be searching for the same thing? Most people think how to get more views on YouTube, but you can use a thesaurus. You can take a thesaurus and it will help you identify words that are very similar. So I asked myself, well, really what we're talking about, if we boil down the phrase, is more views. Now, if I think to myself, what's a related word to more? Well, one of the things I found was increase. Increase and more kind of mean the same thing. So I thought, okay, well, let me go to YouTube and see if people are searching for increase. And they were. But I also saw boost. Turns out that boost is related to more, and it's also related to increase. And if you start going down this path of really thinking of all the different ways people are thinking and how they're searching, you'll dramatically increase your opportunity on YouTube. Because the next step is to simply, we want to search for the keyword phrase and pay attention to how many views the ranking videos have. So if all the videos have 250,000 views, well, that's a lot of views, and I probably can't drive that. So I'm going to search for increased views. And right when I started doing that, I was able to rank more in my videos, and that's how you get your foot in the door. And what happens is slowly over time, you get more and more powerful, you get more subscribers, and you get to a point where you can target the biggest keyword phrases because you have the knowledge to apply the SEO, and you also have the channel authority to pull it off. You need both. You need the knowledge of how SEO works, but you also need the authority with the channel, and that's how I've done it, and it's worked really well.
As a beginner on YouTube, how do you get discovered?
You know, when we talked about how to get views, how to target the right keyword phrases, when you combine that with a well-structured channel, it will allow you to get discovered, and to grow. So what I do is I start off with clients that I work with, and I mention things like select one broad topic. It might be entrepreneurship, or it might be video marketing. You might create a channel on cooking, but stick to one broad thing, and then think about 3 sub niches. So let's take cooking, for example. You might have a playlist on low fat, you might have a playlist on Italian, and you might have a playlist on really simple, easy to cook recipes. Now, by focusing on those 3 sub-niches in one broad topic, you'll dramatically increase the likelihood that A, someone finds your video, and then B, they watch multiple videos because your channel has a nice theme. And this is where a lot of YouTubers struggle. And if I'm honest, like, this is a struggle because as humans, we want to do a lot of different things. And for me personally, I believe it comes down to sacrifice. If you really want to grow, you have to be willing to sacrifice to get what you want. Like, I would love to cover a lot of different topics, and I'm just broadening my channel now just a bit, and I'm really going slow because I don't want to go too broad too fast. It can really cause havoc on a channel. So,
technical question, and you came up with a philosophical answer about sacrifice, but it definitely makes sense. All right, the next question is an interesting question, Brian, that I have for you is, supposing if there are 2 equally valuable videos that give you equal amount of information about a particular topic, and one video comes from a monetized channel and another one comes from a non-monetized channel, do you really believe that the YouTube algorithm would give weightage to the monetized video in their search ranking because it generates revenue for them?
I don't believe so. So what YouTube has said is that the search department, search and discovery, the algorithm people, the people that tweak the algorithm and try to decide which videos should be promoted and which ones shouldn't, that department is completely separate to the folks that work on monetization. And I personally believe that. In fact, some of the experience that I've gained over the last 2.5 years is I didn't monetize my channel until I had over 8,000 subscribers. So I had driven probably about 750,000 views. So we're talking 750,000 views without a monetized channel. So I was able to rank. I didn't have any problem at all, and it wasn't really an issue. I think, you know, a lot of the questions that I hear from people is like, it seems like there are all these things against me, and the truth of the matter is it's hard. It is challenging, and I'm not going to say it's easy because I don't want to fill people up with pipe dreams. I want people to be able to move forward. And the thing that I see stopping so many people is unrealistic expectations. You know, we get really excited about starting a channel, we publish some videos, and we're disappointed with our results. It's even when you know this, like I've been really hustling the last 8 or 9 days. I've published 7 videos in a row. And these are videos that I'm spending 6-7 hours editing. So that's filming, editing for 6 or 7 hours a day. And I'm like, okay, I want more, you know? But over time, what I found is as long as I just focus and my expectations are based in reality, I get great results and I do grow. Sometimes it happens on a different time frame though.
That's a great piece of advice. Expectations is definitely a problem that all YouTubers are facing today. All right, the next big question is about you, Brian. You have a small, engaged, and super competitive niche for your channel, right? Helping YouTubers create better videos. So, as beginners, what is the advice that you would give us in finding the right niche?
Really, really great question. I absolutely love it. And for me personally, it really starts off with, what are you trying to accomplish? I think this is super, super important. If you're doing it to make money, then that has to be a really big consideration. You just can't start a channel because you're passionate about meditation. You could certainly monetize meditation videos, but there might be a lot of easier ways to make money on YouTube. Maybe selling information products around health and weight loss. Maybe that would allow you to rank faster and also sell products, and to allow you to move forward and get those results that you're after. So I think it really starts off with, what are you trying to accomplish? And then number 2, what are you excited about? And what can you talk about for a period of time? Like YouTube is a long game. YouTube isn't something you set up and I'm going to test it out. And again, this is really a big mindset see with a lot of people is, well, I'm going to see how it works. So I'm going to publish a few videos. And unfortunately, it's so disappointing for me because I see a lot of people that they give up on month 2. And I've had so many videos myself that blew up on month 3. So it makes me wonder, those people that started, they published 15 videos and then they quit. I bet some of those videos they published are now ranking and they're driving views, but they've already moved on, which is really a bummer. So I think really just starting off with what are you trying to accomplish, and then think about what are you passionate about and what can you talk about over a year, 2 years. Like I really love, I've always done video. I've done video since 2007, 2006, like I said, but I never really focused on it until I started the channel I have today. And I figured, I can talk about SEO, I can talk about the algorithm, I can talk about being creative, and I can monetize my channel, which was important. And I can be a speaker and speak about video marketing. And all of these things help me make my decision for the niche I would choose. And I think this is how to really go forward and choose a niche that makes the most sense. Again, beginning with what do you want to achieve? And then number 2, what are you passionate about? And also, is there some overlap? When you find a topic that you're passionate about, where there's an audience that's excited to receive the information, and you really focus on the process rather than the result, the process of making a great video, learning to edit, learning to make thumbnails, learning how to speak on camera, learning, then over time, you'll start getting the results that you set out to get.
Wow, great piece of advice. But I was really fascinated by that audience thing that you pointed out in your last answer. And that leads me to the next question. You have created an amazing FB community, right? And the Facebook community that you have has become so popular among video creators. I myself have been a part of that community for over a year now. So tell us the backstory behind this group.
I want to start telling an ongoing story around my channel. The hook for my channel was, I'm kind of a beginner here. I don't have professional experience with cameras. I don't understand how the cameras work, and there's so many settings, and I've never really edited videos. I've never really worked with lighting and whatnot. I've never done all these things, but I'm going to figure it out, and I'm going to share my journey along the way. And by the way, what we're talking about here is called, in marketing terms, an open loop. And this is something that the most successful marketers use, including YouTubers. Like the whole Logan Paul and KSI fight, that was an open loop. That fight was not about the fight. That fight was about talking about something that would be epic and would allow Logan Paul and KSI to make engaging videos for 4 or 5 months. And then they had the fight. And guess what? It was a draw. So now there'll be another fight, and they're going to continue to talk about it, and it's an open loop. When I published this book, one of the things I did was I sent this book out to hundreds of people, and I never asked them to share it, but they did. And it kept showing up in people's Facebook feed. And then people started asking about the book. And I was slow to release the book, where most authors, they want to publish the book and get it out there fast. I was like, this is my first book, and I have to do this right, and there's no rush. Like, it's much more powerful to be creating this kind of open loop idea. So that's what I did with my channel. Was I'm going to try to grow my channel to 10,000 subscribers in a year. And I thought one of the places I could tell this story was in a Facebook group, specifically targeting, not really even targeting, but just with a group of video creators in mind. And they can share their knowledge, I can share mine, we can ask questions, we can work together, we can find people to collaborate with. So that's the backstory of how the group just kind of became. And it's interesting, a lot of times I'll be very deliberate and I'll plan my marketing. Writing a book is a great example. However, with the Facebook group, this was just one day I was like, I should probably have a group and I should probably start telling this story. So I created the group, and I created some buzz on Facebook because of people followed me for my book and some of the other things I've done and all the open loops that I created and whatnot. And then as the group launched, all I did was nurture it. And one of the things to consider with growing a Facebook group is it's not just about the group creator. It's not about the person that creates the group. If all you do is promote, if all I was to do was to share my videos, now I share my videos all the time, but I also I just posted a question right now to my group. And the question was, what's more important? Having amazing looking thumbnails or a great camera? You only get to choose one. And that's a discussion that we can have now as the group grows and so on. And I think just being present and answering questions and sharing content. Sometimes I share other people's videos, I share other articles, and I also share my own content, whether it's my book, whether it's a new product I'm promoting, or whether it's my YouTube videos. When you do all of those things and people can see that you're not just in it to sell your products, but you're truly dedicated to the group as a whole, that will show through and people will respond to that, and they'll invite their pals and they'll come back and they'll post questions. And then it gets to a point where it's definitely not my group anymore. I might have created the group, but it's its own living and breathing thing, and people are there, they're joining all the time, they're asking questions, they're supporting one another. And for me, that's a really big motivator, is to help people and create the sense of community. To wrap up and to talk about how I do use the group to promote videos, one of the things I do is when I release a video now, I will post it to the group. I did create it. It's not my group, but I did create it. And then I'll link to the video in the post. Now it's interesting, on a profile, what I would do is I would create a post and I would add the thumbnail to the post, and then I would say the link to the video is in the comments. But in a group, you can actually pin or create an announcement. So what I do is I create an announcement, and then anytime someone comes into the group, the first thing they see is the latest announcement, which is probably or usually one of my videos with the thumbnail, and then it says watch and there's a link. So that's kind of how you can leverage the power of a group. And here's the last thing, really interesting. The group today is over 9,500 members, and the amount of views that I get from the group is about 2%, maybe 1 or 2%. The amount of views I get from Google far surpasses. It's maybe 20 times greater what I get from Google versus what I get from the group. And why I'm sharing that is at the beginning of this talk, we talked about the power of choosing the right keyword phrases. And the reason I drive so many views from Google and YouTube is because I'm very deliberate with the keywords that I select. So that's the thing to focus on. And over time, a group will grow, and it's an asset, and you want to build one. But honor the fact that you can drive so many more views through YouTube and Google.
Wow, you have definitely managed to nurture the video creators in your group. As a part of your group, I'm really proud to say that you have definitely created a very healthy, living, breathing being there. All right, Brian, we've come to the end of section 2. This is going to be a rapid fire section. I'm going to throw some questions at you. I want you to give me quick answers without much of thought.
Let's do it.
All right. Your favorite YouTuber apart from yourself?
Nick Nimmin.
He's your best buddy, right? He was here on the show last.
He's a good friend of mine.
Okay. What is one moment that your channel really blew up from, and what is the reason behind it?
For me, I would say that was in the fall of last year. And what happened was I was able to triple my views, or not triple my views, triple my subscribers. So this is kind of exciting. The same amount of views, but now 3 times the amount of subscribers. And what I did to make that happen was I always tried to figure out like the right keywords. I always thought about like, how can I position my content so I get in front of more people? And so I had the SEO part, like I was really focusing on that. And I had that dialed in. And I was always asking, like, how can I edit a better video? And can I come up with a better thumbnail? And how can I light my videos better? And I kept trying new things and experimenting. And again, I started out from zero. I didn't have the technical background that a lot of successful YouTubers have. So it took me some time. And basically, once I got to the fall of last year, it came together. And that allowed me to really not just drive the views, but gain the subscribers as well.
All right, next question is 3 important steps that you are taking right now to take your videos to 1 million subscribers.
Awesome. Brand new thumbnails, probably the 4th version of my thumbnails. Always be improving. Number 2, I took back editing on my own videos to learn editing even better, to improve my editing and so on. Number 3, how many did you ask for? 3 or 4?
3.
3. Number 3, to not just know how important it is to use those keyword phrases, but to not be greedy and try to go for something that's a little bit too competitive. So really focus on a sure bet, a keyword phrase that's going to be easier to rank for. So I like to think about it as a baseball game. If you try to, you step up to the plate and the pitcher pitches the ball and you got to swing, and you might try to swing for a home run, but you might miss. But if I can just get on base and maybe drive 10, 20, 30 views a day, if I keep doing that over time, those videos do really well and it'll help me grow faster. So wow. SEO.
Great analogy with baseball. All right, one more question is, when is the right time to monetize a channel?
As soon as you're able to. So what I would say is the best way to monetize and the best way to think about monetizing is to try not to think about it the best you can. If that's what you really want to do, you're going to think about it, and that's natural. But thinking about it when you can't monetize doesn't help. What helps is to focus on the SEO and the editing, all the things we spoke about. So focus on and think about that first. And then as soon as you can monetize. There's no reason to hold back.
Wow, definitely not an answer that I expected, but it definitely makes a lot of sense. All right, Brian, if you have one message for the Animaker community who are viewing this video today, what would that be?
Easy. Stake your claim and amplify your message. You dig?
Amazing message. I'd like to leave my audience with that. Thank you so much, Brian, for taking the time to talk to us today.
Thank you again for having me. It was a lot of fun, and you're a great interviewer, and I appreciate that.
Wow, that's a great compliment, and it really means when it comes from an experienced YouTuber such as yourself. Thank you so much, Brian.
Cheers, buddy.
Guys, if you really enjoyed the show, go ahead and click on the like button and the subscribe icon, and click on the bell icon to stay updated on all the latest episodes of Animaker Genius Talk. And if you want to see your favorite influencers on this show, go ahead and comment below and we'll make sure to get them for the future episodes. Until then, take care and stay safe. This is Arvind from Team Animaker signing off.